This is the RV Advisor Podcast with your host, Tom Alexander. Get all the latest information, trends, advice from experts, stories from the road, and more in the world of recreational vehicles. Now, here's Tom.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the RV Advisor Podcast. My name is Tom Alexander, and today I am joined by the Camping Creagers. It is Scott and Karen Creager. And you can find them at happy_RVers on Instagram. That's pretty cool. Hi, guys. How you doing?
Great. How are you?
It's great to have you. Thanks for coming on. Doing well here. And Gatlinburg, Tennessee is where you're sort of stationed right now. And you got your beautiful 43-foot fifth wheel that you're in. And it's as we're recording this, it is a Saturday morning, and you guys look pretty... You look a lot better than I do for a Saturday morning. I'd usually just be crawling out of bed, trying to get some sleep in. But you look like you've already enjoyed a good portion of your day. Thanks for coming on. I know you guys do a fair amount of traveling under normal circumstances, but tell us a little bit about how all this, pandemic craziness has sort of affected your schedule. Has it at all?
Absolutely. We were wintering in Florida and had plans to go to Colorado the 1st of May and travel around Colorado and work our way back over to Tennessee. And we were going to actually go to the Balloon Festival in Albuquerque and work our way to the East Coast and go down the East Coast. So with the pandemic, we changed our plans and we stayed stationary until we felt things were a little bit better and adjusted our plans and went to the mountains of northern Georgia. And we've been traveling North Carolina mountains and Tennessee mountains and staying in small towns and staying in the cool air and trying to stay safe.
Good for you. Well, we were talking a little bit offline before we came on, and you're bragging about how beautiful the weather is with those perfect temperatures, and we here in South Florida are still in the excruciating, oppressive heat and humidity, which hopefully will lift in about 6 weeks. But by this time of the year, we're all waiting for that cool temperatures for them to hit. Anyway, so you go generally, like you said, you kind of go around and do your traveling, and it's been a little bit altered this time around. But is Gatlinburg another sort of home base where you guys like to sort of hang, or do you are you just sort of? Is it a stop along the way?
Actually, the North Georgia mountains has become a place that we'll spend time in the summers. We actually came up into the Gatlinburg area to see some family, and they were coming down from Ohio in their RV and meet us and spend a little bit of time. So we're only in this area for a few weeks, and then Tuesday we'll head back to the Georgia mountains.
Yeah.
Even cooler temperatures.
Yeah, right. So yeah, because you get in the mountains, and it does make a huge difference. I mean, it gets nice and cool up there. I have a friend who lives out in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and they've already seen snow just a couple of weeks ago, and it's like, man, I say it's the most schizophrenic weather in the country because it goes from being 85 degrees one day to 22 the next. It's these dramatic drops and rises and falls. It's just unbelievable. Karen, I know that you've online you've offered RV tips and different kinds of things and things you like to do and share with your fellow RVers. Is this something that was just kind of born by accident, or is it something that you intentionally sort of said, hey, you know what, let me share this?
Well, I'm kind of an organizational nerd, and I didn't know that was unusual till my friends started asking me, hey, how should I do this? Do you have any ideas how I can make this fit or that fit? And I just thought maybe it would help somebody out there. And I found this wonderful community of RVers. It's kind of like the same culture that we see in the campground, that everybody is supportive and, happy to encourage and help out. I found that same community online and I love it. So I'm just trying to share things that may help somebody else and enjoying their company in return.
That's great because, and I've said this constantly, it is a community. It's a true community. It's friends we just haven't met yet, or family we just haven't met yet, right? I mean, it's like you'll run into folks and oftentimes these people wind up being lifelong friends. I'm sure you've experienced that along the way. It's like, hey, we'll see you in Albuquerque or wherever it is, we'll run into you out there. And it's an ongoing thing, and it's been wonderful. And the interesting thing, you mentioned it, was the support. Mm-hmm. Everybody really is so helpful. Hey, I don't know how to do this. Do you know how to do this? Sure, I can help you with that, and vice versa, right? You find that a lot?
I do. I've had people direct message me with things, and we've gone back and forth and sharing things, and they've followed up, and it's been wonderfully encouraging. During the pandemic, even though I'm a little bit of an introvert, I still was feeling kind of isolated. And to meet all these people online has been wonderful. It's like having that friend next door, but they're just through the computer, but they're still a friend. It's great.
No, that's great. And by the way, you don't present like an introvert. You have very infectious smile, and you just one of those folks that just kind of radiates that. Sure, come on over. We'll hang out. Have some fun. So we're going to take a quick break. Want to learn a little bit more about your Instagram page, which you've got over 1,500 followers right now, which is awesome. And a little bit more about your adventures. I'm speaking with the Camping Creagers. They're happy_RVers at Instagram. And you're watching and listening to the RV Advisor podcast. I'm Tom Alexander. Now these words.
Hey, RV owners and those thinking about owning. Want to maximize the fun and minimize the hassle of buying an RV? You need GPS. It's Gigi's personal service. Our $350 package gets you me, the expert advice, and a host of outstanding services. Visit thervadvisor.com.
We are back on the RV Advisor podcast. It is singular. I don't do two at once. That's okay. I'll be all right. It's Saturday, folks. With over 1,500 followers, the Camping Creagers are doing just that. They're camping, and I know that you've got your adventures on Instagram at happy_RVers. And you can see all their great photos. I was paging through, and some really cool stuff there. But Karen, I know that you have some plans down the line a little bit to kind of get a YouTube page happening and some videos and stuff going there. What's your view? What's your vision for that?
I kind of want to share some of the same things on YouTube that I do on Instagram, the organization outside and the adventure inside, just to maybe help somebody figure out a way to fit their bread maker or whatever, all those random things that I ran into when we were starting out. And I also want to encourage those that are looking to go RVing about how to purge some of that excess without it being overwhelming, and to avoid what almost everybody we know that's gone full-time has done, which is having at least one storage unit for a long period of time. That's one of the things that on our page I get direct messaged about a lot is, hey, what's your tip for people that are going to go full-time? How do we attack all this stuff? How do we know what to keep and what to purge? That kind of thing.
Yeah. And I know, again, during the break, we were chatting a little bit about inside outside and whose responsibilities, who does what, because there's a lot to do. People think, oh, you got a fifth wheel and it just sort of takes care of itself. No, that is not exactly. So Karen, you do work on the inside. Obviously, you're all the tips that you share, but the exterior, Scott, that's you, huh?
That's me. Born and raised in the RV industry, and
Okay.
grew up my father buying a camper, and so learned at a young age. And this lifestyle, there's always issues. You always have issues, and there's things to fix or problems to solve. And so when we pull up to an RV park, I set everything up on the outside. She goes in and does everything on the inside, and we have our routine.
There you go. It's a good plan. Everybody knows what they're doing, and so any other folks that join you from time to time, or is it just almost always just the two of you and your pets?
It's mostly just the two of us. We meet up with some friends along the way as we're traveling, and try to reconnect with them. And maybe we tell some friends we're going to be in such and such in the month of whatever, and try to connect with them if we can. But mostly it's just us, and then we meet friends every day. And this lifestyle, as I'm working outside, and people will come up and notice that we're a little bit different, that they can tell we're full-time RVers versus a weekend camper, which we used to be. And so they'll start asking questions. Well, how'd you do this, or how'd you do that? And I can explain to them. And before you know it, I'm next door at their campfire talking, and my wife's calling, "Where'd you go? Where are you?"
Right. Where is he now?
Yep.
Where in the world is Scott Creager, I think is the burning question. Am I right, Karen? Is that?
Yes, I call him and I'm like, if I was my husband, where would I be?
Yeah, exactly. That's funny. Well, it's interesting because you talked about starting out as kind of weekend warriors, which is very, very common. We hear that story a lot, and then the transition to full timing, and it is an adjustment. Obviously, I mean, we all sort of start out. The majority of us, I'd say, well into the 90%, category starts out in brick and mortar, and then eventually goes to a fifth wheel or some other mode, and take to the road permanently. Was that transition a challenge for you? But Scott, you said you kind of grew up in the industry. What about for you, Karen?
Well, it really wasn't. We both were workaholics, and we both worked a lot of hours. And camping was our escape from that stress.
Yeah.
And we found ourselves camping more and more. And then, okay, well, we'll go there after work on Friday, and we'll actually leave there Monday morning. Then it's like, he said, I'm going to go on Thursday, and you drive up on Friday. We were just more and more and more. So we said, why are we paying for this house that we're never spending any time in? So we downsized from a house to an apartment, and then found ourselves camping like 3 weeks out of the month and just getting ready and going to work from the camper. And then said, why are we paying for this apartment? This is silly. We're never there. So it was kind of a gradual step down. And one of the things that I did that made each step a little bit easier, as there was a donation station next to our grocery store. So we purposed every time we went to the grocery store to take 1 or 2 bags of stuff to the donation station. And that made it a lot less overwhelming to kind of attack it a little at a time than to wait until a month before and say, oh my gosh, what do we do with all this stuff? What do we keep? What do we not?
Yeah.
And that's just kind of how we attacked it.
Yeah. What kind of work did you? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
People would always say, it'd be the hardest thing to get rid of all my stuff. And as we were going through the attic to sell the house, we were opening up boxes and boxes and boxes of things that you're going to save for your children.
Yeah.
And we have, our children are grown up and we have grandchildren now, but you open up the box and they don't want it. What are we saving this for?
Yeah.
And we found that downsizing has been one of the greatest things of our lives, to simplify the life and our lifestyle and downsize. And it's been a real thrill.
We both wish we'd done it sooner. We found it to be very freeing to get rid of all the excess stuff.
Yeah. And, you know, I over here, just about 5 feet away is a closet. And that closet is filled with about 45 to 50 years worth of memorabilia and everything. I grew up in the movie theater business. And my dad and his brothers had movie theaters, and I've got a lot of old movie stuff. Now, most people would say, wow, that's awesome. You know, old posters and stuff. Oh, yeah. But the problem is they're still sitting in boxes, and I haven't framed any of them yet. And they've been sitting there for 30 years. I've got a couple framed, and that's it. And it's just like, and I've got all kinds of stuff and old ticket reels and you name it. And like, what am I doing with these? You know, I don't think my son is going to want them. But I just feel like I have to just, you know, hold on to my last breath. And I think one of these days I got to just, you know, say, okay, enough is enough. You know, I get what you're saying, and I respect you greatly for being able to just sort of walk away from that and downsize and simplify. And, you know, as you get older, simplifying's good.
And this lifestyle, you know, in our basement below, I have totes, and you can only fit so much in your totes. And so it actually, when you're out shopping or looking at, oh, maybe I'd like to have that. Well, then I backtrack and say, I don't have a place for that, and move on.
So what kind of work did you do? Or do you still do some of it from the road, or are you pretty much just called it quits?
I was a concrete contractor all my life, born and raised in the business and my family. And after 42 years of getting up at 4:30 every morning, I had enough. And so I sold that and retired a couple years ago. I still have another business that it's a supply business that my daughters work there, and it's kind of a hobby for me now. And I'm just there as phone support when they need me, and it works out great. That's
great. And Karen, did you go ahead?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I worked as a paralegal for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And the last couple of years that I did it, I was able to do it actually from our RV. We went full time while we were both still working full time.
Right.
And so I was able to work remotely, and then just decided we would take that plunge, and we wish we'd done it sooner. We're super happy.
Yeah, absolutely. People ask us all the time, and I tell people, you both have to want to do this lifestyle. It can't be one or the other. You both have to want to do this lifestyle. And we honestly tell people we wish we would have done it many, many years ago.
Yeah. Well, you know what, though? You're doing it now, and you both look healthy and happy. And listen, from where I'm sitting, you guys look like you're just doing absolutely fine. So continue the journey in good health and happiness. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
And let the folks know again where they can find you on Instagram.
It's happy_RVers, RVERS.
Yes. Instagram, it is happy_RVers, and you'll find the Camping Creagers right there. And you'll find them with all their great photographs and adventures. And hopefully down the line, Karen, as you said, soon to be on YouTube, coming to a computer screen near you. This is the RV Advisor Podcast. I'm Tom Alexander. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. So long, everybody.